We are out here doing a chimney repair. This thing has been leaking pretty bad for a while. It's partly because of the cap, but that's going down the inside of the chimney. The part that's been real bad is the outside where it's been leaking on the roof. This is what we got done so far. We're basically tearing off the shingle to see what's under there. And this is the other side. See, it's got some aluminum counter flashing on there, but we're gonna just replace everything. So far I've cut off the aluminum counter flashing to this point, and it shows we got this little tiny flashing behind it. It's only like 2 inches high, and even less in some places. And it's only overlapping 1.5 inches. More there, about 1.5 inches there, a couple inches there, and you can see water's been basically coming down, hitting the top of a shingle right here, and then traveling over and taking all this gunk with it. And that's one of the reasons it's really important to put a piece of step flashing on every shingle, because water will run down the side, hit the top of the shingle, and then run along the top of the shingle. And it can go into the house, like into that nail hole. It'll find its way in somehow. So what we're going to do is tear up all this flashing and put ice shield around the whole thing, and then reflash it all. After getting the counter flashing most of the way off and all this tar mess in the front out of here, you can see partly why it's leaking. They put this fibery tape stuff and embedded it with tar over the front here, kind of to cover this hole, because their counter flashing didn't even cover down over their step flashing, so water can just run down the chimney and into the home. On the back here, you can see why this thing was leaking. The back pan, we haven't touched this or anything, it was just all folded and mangled under here. But it ends right here. So any water that comes down and hits this back pan, it's going to drain right here and go into the house. So we're going to keep tearing into this thing and see what else we find. So tearing into the side of this thing, it's not plywood or anything, it's actually shiplap. But it looks like the roofers didn't tear off the existing felt, they just kind of roofed over everything. See all this old stuff, and this is actually wet right here. I don't know when the last time it rained was, a few days ago, but it's holding water in here. Like you can see, this board is wet, and this is under all the flashing. I think this thing's just soaked and rotting. So we're going to tear all this up and see how bad it is and clean it up and start fresh. We've gotten all the everything cleaned out of there. Got our ice shield flashing. This is kind of the pre-flashing. This goes on before the actual metal. So just in case anything were to get behind the metal, it would hit this stuff and go out. So we've got a nice solid piece everywhere. And surprisingly enough, this board right here is actually solid. They had some spacers on there that were soaked and rotting, but the board itself was actually okay. So we got our line cut for the counter flashing, and now it's time to add shingles and step flashing. Alright, so we got the step flashed, we got the roofing weave back in. As you can see, it's a slightly different color, but it's pretty darn close. So we put all new step flashing in, one per shingle, of course. And we got our back pan in, which is a solid piece of galvanized flashing, and it extends all the way. We got our seams in here that have a little tar behind everything, so it's just a way to seal up that last little pinhole there. And that's pretty much it. We need to install the counter flashing, which is already half done. So you can see we got the front on here and this side all the way up. So we'll put the other two on and then we'll get this thing wrapped up. This is the finished product. As you can see, we got our counter flashing in there. What we do to seat this stuff is we bend it in to go into the slice that we cut. Then we fill that gap with caulking, this Flex Seal stuff that's really tough. Then we'll set it into the slice we made, and then we'll go back through and reseal the top. As you can see, there's a nice solid bead across the top, and that'll just make it so anything coming down the chimney is going to hit that flashing and go onto the roof. So as you can see, we got lots of new step flashing in there, all the new roofing, everything done right. All the winter guard, of course, under there as a backup layer. A little bit of tar there just to seal things up. This pipe flashing, which is in like the worst place possible, but we sealed under the air and we're sure to nail nice and high, so even if this does have water backup or ice forming, it's not going to be an issue. So let's go take a look at the other side. Let's see, we counter flashing on all that. Now this is an old chimney, so we also kind of go through and fill any gaps in the mortar or anything like right above the counter flashing with caulking, just to make sure. So we got all our new shingle weaved in there. Got the back pan. Got the piece of counter flashing on the back. Again, all the counter flashing is continuous. That just makes it so there's no gaps or seams for water to get in. So that's it. Looks a little cleaner than the giant mess of tar, and it will keep water out for sure. So that's it for this repair. We're out of here.